Hi, this is Mr. West, Rossick's Most Stylish, and here I am to talk about why William won the Battle of Hastings in this incredible dirt video. There I am, look, you can see me there with a nice selection of jackets. Right, let's get into the video, there I am. Let's get into the video and see what it's all about. Okay, so the blue tag, it relates to luck, doesn't it? Okay, and whether luck was in fact the main reason William won or not. Okay, so what I've done here is I've put a number of statements straight from the Quizlet that you'd want to kind of try and include. So the first one, fighting at Stamford Bridge and the journey south made Harold's troops very tired. And I tried to highlight this about 50 times, but it wouldn't work, so I'm just going to do it by hand there. And this helped William win because he was so tired, it meant that his army was exhausted, and William was then obviously much fresher. They hadn't fought a battle, and that wasn't William's decision. It was lucky because of the wind, isn't it? Okay, so fighting at Stamford Bridge and the journey south made Harold's troops very tired, and this helped William win because Harold's army was so tired they couldn't fight at their best, and maybe they wouldn't have fallen for the feigned retreat had they been less tired. They wouldn't have kind of been tricked into it as easily. Also, building on that, the wind changed at the right time and allowed William's troops to cross the channel at a time when Harold's troops were fighting in the north. This helped William win because he allowed him to arrive there to start harrying the land, destroying houses and attacking people, which then meant that once Harold had won in the north, he felt he had to come straight down to defend his kingdom, and that allowed William to make sure he was fighting against a very tired army that wasn't at full strength. And as I say, that if the wind had been the right way at the start, he'd have sailed across and fought the whole of Harold's army. Okay, and maybe, well, one of them would have won, obviously, but maybe Harold Hardrada would have ended up being king, if that was the case. So yeah, another example for luck is at a key moment in the battle, Harold was killed. The English were weak without this leader, and this helped William win because it was lucky that at that important moment he was killed. Remember, the archers would be firing on and off all day at the Norman line, but at an important moment, Harold was killed, and that's luck because William can't control it. It helps him win because without the leader, especially at an important moment in the battle, that then gives William the chance to really kick home his advantage, okay? And finally, some of Harold's best soldiers have been killed fighting at Stamford Bridge, okay? And this helped William win because, quite simply, he didn't fight as strong an army. Those best soldiers weren't there to fight him for Harold anymore, and that made William's job easier. Okay, so this is all about luck. What you probably want to do is I can't put a sentence starter on for the whole paragraph because I don't know how important luck was for you, but maybe try and write a paragraph and use these points. Obviously, if you used any of the points that are on this slide in your answer already, don't use them again unless you're going to develop the quality of them. Okay. Okay, so it's the red target. Now then, this is all about preparation, okay? And that's what you do before the battle. So I've got 3 things from the Quizlet here that you could have included. William assembled a great army and a great store of weapons. This helped him win because obviously having a great army gave him a great strategic advantage, and also having a lot of weapons meant that he could continue to fight throughout the day. I don't know how many arrows his archers would have had, but when you think this is a battle that goes on raging from really 9 in the morning till 5 at night, you need an awful lot of arrows if you're an archer to keep firing throughout the day. And that store of weapons is arguably as important as the army that he has, because it allows him to keep fighting. It allows his spearmen to get more spears, it allows his knights to get more horses if anything happens to them, and that means he can fight a long battle that lasts all day. Without having such a store of weapons and such an army, you wouldn't be able to do that. Next one, William had built 700 ships to carry his forces across the sea, and this helped William win because he could take his whole army across in one go. All right, and that's massive because if he'd only been able to take half his army, he'd have taken half his army over the channel, he'd have had to come back for his other half of his army, and that would have meant that the half that was already in England would have been exposed, wouldn't they? Okay, but because they can all arrive and land at once, the full power of William's army can arrive there, and that gives him the chance of basically being able to use his whole army to get ready for the Battle of Hastings, not have to wait for the rest of them to arrive. Finally, virtually all of William's army were professional soldiers, and this helped William win because it allowed him, it meant that his soldiers were, even though roughly the same number of soldiers on both sides, his soldiers being professional meant that they were better fighters than Harold's, okay? They were more aware of how to use their weapons, they trained with them more. Now, obviously, Harold had the housecarls with a two-handed battle axe. They were professional, but he only had roughly 1,000 of them, whereas all 7,000 or 8,000 of William's army were professional, and obviously that gave him a massive advantage when the battle came. Okay, so again, have a look at your paragraph on preparation and then write the ones you haven't mentioned, or if you have mentioned them but you could explain them more fully like I have on the video, then include those in your answer. Okay, and now for this, the final bit for this section is the leadership situation. Okay, so William was skillful, ambitious and determined to be King of England, and this helped William win because he had such ambition. He was prepared to come over from Normandy and to try and take the throne and risk it all, really. William could have stayed as being Duke of Normandy, but if he wasn't so ambitious, he wouldn't have been as good a leader, and he wouldn't have maybe been able to take on the Battle of Hastings and lead his men. He'd have probably just given up, okay, or not even attempted it in the first place. So he had to have that ambition and that determination to be King of England. That's what made him a good leader, okay. William was brave. At an important moment in the battle, he led his men back up the hill to attack, and this helped William win because maybe at that stage his men would have been flagging, they would have been maybe thinking about giving up, but then there was William at the front of his army leading his men back up the hill again, and that gave the rest of his army a lot of confidence and made them carry on fighting. If William hadn't have been so brave and hadn't have been such a good leader at the front of his army, then his army maybe would have given up or would have stopped fighting or would have maybe sneaked off, but they stayed fighting right till the end because he led them from the front. Also, we know that at a certain time in the battle there was a moment when the rumour was spreading that William was dead, and some of his army began to panic. William lifted his helmet off his head and showed his army, look, I am still here. And maybe that's a little bit of additional information you could add into that point, showing that how he was at the front, and that stopped his army from panicking and kept them fighting right till the end, okay? Finally, the Normans used the tactic of the feigned retreat to make the English come down from the hill. This helped William win because if Harold had stayed on top of the hill, he would have won the Battle of Hastings. This is really important point. If Harold stays on the hill, I'll repeat it, he would have won the Battle of Hastings. So how does William get him off the hill? Well, it's his clever leadership and his tactic of the feigned retreat that pulls him down the hill away from his army, not him, but his army down from the hill, especially the feared who are unprofessional and are a bit more easy to react to this. And obviously when they get on the level ground, the fact that the Normans, a lot of them, 2,000 of them are on horses, they can turn around, then they have the height advantage and they can whip round and kill the Saxon army. And we know that that breaking of the shield wall and getting the English or the Saxons off the top of the hill was massive in terms of the overall victory. So again, write a paragraph on leadership using this, or if you have done, maybe look through and listen to me, what bits can you add in that you haven't put in already? Okay then, so for purple it's about focusing on the question and highlighting the key terms. So what I've done here is I've used purple towards the end of the second and third paragraph to say, well actually, why is the other paragraphs you're writing not as important as the main one? Okay, so I've given you an example here about leadership and luck. So this person, the top answer here, okay, this person here thinks that luck is the main reason, and they've been writing about leadership. Okay, so although leadership is important, it's not as important as luck, because even though William led his army well, he wouldn't have won at Hastings if the wind hadn't kept William in Normandy. He would have had to fight the whole of Harold's army. Luck is more important than leadership because no matter how good a leader William was, he would have found it much, much harder to fight the whole of Harold's army. And if Harold's army had been fresh and not exhausted, he gained a massive advantage by only having to fight one battle when Hardrada and Godwinson had to fight two. So that would be what I'd say there. This person thinks leadership's the most important, but they've been writing a paragraph on preparation. Although preparation is important, it's not as important as leadership, because even though William prepared his army well, he wouldn't have won at Hastings if he did not get Harold down from Senlac Hill. Preparation is more important than or Harold's men, should I say. I think Harold stayed up there, but Harold's men down from Senlac Hill. Preparation is more important than leadership because Sorry, that should say leadership is more important than preparation, shouldn't it? All right, so those of you watching the video there, let me just have a look. Just hang on a sec. Let's just have a look at this. So that those two need swapping, don't they? Sorry, that's an error in the production stage of the video. Sorry. So leadership is more important than, so it should say leadership is more important than preparation, because no matter how well you prepare, without the feigned retreat, even though he prepared so well, William would have lost the Battle of Hastings. Okay, so obviously I couldn't do every eventuality for purple, but what I've done is given you a flavour here of two that you could use, and feel free to use them, and try and use those to try and improve the purple in your answer. And the final target is to do with the conclusion. And the key word is justifying here. So some of you may have written a conclusion and still got pink as a target, and that's not a problem. It's just about reflecting on that and saying, right, can I make my conclusion better? First of all, I've got this top section here. This is for people who maybe haven't written a conclusion. The most important reason that William won the Battle of Hastings was, so again, reiterate what your answer was. That's called a line of reasoning, because it keeps coming up. This is so very important because persuade me of what you are trying to say. And then you could go on to say something is not as important as something. So for example, you could say luck is not as important as leadership because, and try and talk about why that is. And to help you with that, I've put 3 higher order things, questions down here you might want to look, and I've linked them, look, to the 3 sections, depending on what you think. If William had fought 2 battles, would he have won them both? He only just won at Hastings, really, didn't he? Okay, the battle lasted a long while. And you know, would he have won 2 battles? I don't think he would, and that would have tell you the importance of luck. If William had not brought the Saxons down from Senlac Hill, would he have won? Well, the answer is no. So that's a reason for leadership. You can use that in your conclusion if you think leadership. If William had not prepared a fully professional army with plenty of weapons and a variety of soldiers, would he have won? We know that one of Harold's problems is that he didn't have any archers and that only 1,000 of his army was professional, whereas all of William's was. So what I would suggest is, if you have written a conclusion, or even if you're writing one for the first time, maybe look at these at the bottom here and think, how can that question enhance and improve my answer? That's Mr. West, Rossett's Most Stylish, done.